Hi, this is Jen Young, founder of Spitfire Fitness Arts. I'm a yoga teacher, fitness entrepreneur, performer, and ecstatic dance enthusiast. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the chakras. And today we'll be focusing on the sixth chakra, which is the third eye center, or the Ajna chakra. It's also called the command chakra because it governs the mind. And we get plenty of stimulation in our mind in our daily lives. So our practice today will be about quieting the mind a little bit so that we can really tune in to what's going on there and not get sort of wrapped up in our thoughts and start to identify with our thoughts. But we can find that separation so that we can start to find our inner witness that just allows us to see our experience without attaching and grasping on things. And as I mentioned in the last video, as we work with these upper three chakras, the fifth chakra, the sixth, and the seventh chakra, there's going to be some overlap with the practices. So I'll talk a little bit about that as we go today. And I thank you so much for joining in and enjoy the practice. So today we are working with the sixth chakra, the third eye center. And as I mentioned before, once we're working on these upper chakras, the fifth, sixth, and seventh chakra, that there's some crossover with the poses. So we're going to work on one of those crossover poses now, which is shoulder stand. So we ended the last video with a bridge where we're lifting the hips and opening the heart. But now we're going to take the legs up over our head, or just straight up. If you know you have neck stuff and you're new to yoga, you don't want to overdo it in your neck, I recommend doing this modified shoulder stand, and I'll show you that first. So if you have a block, you can use that. If you don't have a block, you can maybe use some thick books or even just a very firm pillow. And I'm going to lift my hips and slide the block underneath my sacrum. So that's the flat part of the lower back, just above the hips, or actually between the hips and your back. And we'll take the knees to the chest and then reach the legs up. So you want your feet over your hips. The arms come alongside the body. And I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades together and lift through the chest a little bit. But I'm not overarching the back. I'm still feeling supported through the core. And I'm going to point my feet and spread my toes apart like I'm standing on the ceiling. If you have shoulder stand in your practice and you want to come into it, you can actually just lift right up off the block, reaching the feet up, supporting your back with your hands, looking up towards the ceiling. And then you can walk your hands towards your ribs. So with this pose, you're strongly stimulating your throat chakra because your chin is tucked to your throat. So you're getting a little bit of stimulation there. The back of the head is on the floor, so you're getting some of that third eye center stimulation. And then you're inverted, so all your fluids are moving down towards your head. So that's going to get pretty much all the chakras all the way down, but it will include the crown chakra in this position, just because we're inverted. Great. So if you're in the full shoulder stand, just take your time as you roll out of it. If your hips are on the block, you can bring your knees to your chest and then the feet to the floor and you can lift on up. So we want to work with the counter pose of shoulder stand, which is called fish. So there's traditional fish, and I'll just trust that those of you who have a practice and you feel really confident about your neck being safe in fish, that you can come into it. So I'm going to demonstrate the modified fish because it's kind of around the neck, and it's great if you're new to a yoga practice. So what you'll do is first come to sitting. If you have the block, you can bring it behind you level with your shoulder blades. And then you just come into a little bit of a back bend as you lean onto the block. So that block is right between my shoulder blades. And then I interlace the fingers behind my head. I should probably scoot back so you can see my feet. So I'm flexing my feet towards my head. And as I look up at the ceiling, I'm supporting my head with my hands and just opening the chest. So I'm not throwing my head back and compressing the back of the neck. I'm still lengthening through there. And you just find your breath and then squeeze the butt so you get a little core activation there. And just feeling your breath, helping you open a little bit more. Great. So just by having your hands here supporting your head, that's helping you stimulate the third eye right at the back of the head. And then we'll tuck the chin, looking at your toes. Beautiful. And we're going to come up for just a moment. I'm going to do a little eye exercise here, so for the third eye. So we use our eyes a lot these days, but they're all usually just really focused forward. So if we're at the computer, we tend to have our eyes might scan a little bit, but they're not moving around like as humans we're used to doing throughout history. Whenever we're out hunting and whatever, we really use the eyes. So we want to give them a little bit of exercise. So we're going to just basically look up and down first. So looking up towards the ceiling and then looking down towards the floor, keeping the eyebrows relaxed. I have to remind myself to do that. And breathing. So maybe inhale as you look up. Exhale as you look down. Do that one more time. And then we'll look side to side. Again, finding your breath. So we're working with the third eye just by using our eyes. And one more. And then we'll look diagonal. So looking to your upper right and to your lower left. Upper left to lower right. So like making X's with your eyes. One more X, and then we'll circle the eyes around. So first looking up, and then rolling your eyes to the side, down, other side. And when you get to the top, reverse it. So we're changing direction each time we come back to the top. More time around. Great. So we're going to come back onto our back and we're going to find our resting pose. But before we come into that, we're going to do just a very gentle twist. Just letting your legs, your knees bent, just come to one side. And you can look to your opposite hand if that feels okay in your neck and shoulder. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, come to center, and then we'll twist to the other side. Again, looking at your opposite hand from the direction your legs are twisting. Deep breath in, and then exhale, come to center, tugging the knees in. We're going to tuck the chin a little bit, just pressing the back of the head into the floor. Get a little stretch in the back of the neck. And then we're going to stretch out. So Shavasana is great for the third eye because it allows the mind to just rest. There's nothing to think about. You can just let everything go. And if you'd like, you can practice just breathing in and out of that third eye center. So you can either think about it as being between your eyebrows, or you can think about it, if it's an accessible image for you, that there's a little flame just above the center of your upper palate, right in the center of your head. So you can just feel your breath moving in and out of the center of your head. Allow yourself to rest here as long as you like after the video ends. And then when you're ready to come up, just let your knees bend and let yourself roll to one side before you come up to sitting. Then you can use your hands to come on up. And as I said, as this video ends, you can just continue to stay there in your Shavasana for as long as it feels good.